Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Dustin and welcome back into the Mosh Pit. We got an update on a game that I've been following for a little bit and still in pretty early development. It's nothing too far advanced, but they did release a trailer this week and a devlog. So I wanted to kind of go over that, see some of the things that I found that I thought were pretty interesting, see if you find them interesting, and then we can have a comment discussion and see what you think. The name of the game is Negative Atmosphere, and what it's about, let me tell you. Well, actually, you know what? Let me have Kai over there, the creative director, tell you what the game's about. And he's actually doing the voice of the main protagonist, Samuel Edwards. So, yeah, let's hear from Kai.
Negative Atmosphere is set on the TRH Rusanov, an old warhorse of a ship that has seen years of service as the capital ship of the United Earth Space Nations, now relegated to transporting thousands of colonists to a new world. But for the crew and passengers aboard, a terrifying mutagenic plague spreads, throwing everything into chaos. This is a story of brutal, tense survival, and I hope the combined efforts of me and the voice acting crew give the story the spark it deserves.
So from that, I think the premise of the game is that this old ship has been kind of old clunker, is on its maybe last mission to take a whole group of people to a new planet, and a plague breaks out, and this plague is turning all the people on board into creatures and monsters of some type. Very similar to how Dead Space had a ship that uncovered, a darker force. This is more of an infection than it is a dark, spiritual. I don't even know if you would call it spiritual, but maybe a spiritual evil force on Dead Space. It's the same kind of a vibe, and I do get a lot of the Dead Space vibes from this game, but there also is some surprising Fallout items. So I think that they're going to be bringing in some mechanics and some twists that maybe we're not seeing. So let's take a look at some of the footage from the trailer. Right off the bat, you have the SYR-20. This is probably standing for syringe, I'm assuming. It looks like it is modified as well. You can see where it says warning, device default parameters are overridden. The SYR-20 EIO. EIEIO is designed to safely and easily transfer medication to patients in the field. So this could be how you're healing yourself, but because the default parameters are overridden, possibly it's also a weapon. I'm not going to make any assumptions, but there's a lot of information on just this screen alone. You also have a button that says creds, so I'm assuming that's your creds, like your credits that are your way to purchase things from the game. If there is a big-ass plague, there might not be a shop per se, but in Dead Space you used to have credits that you would pick up, and then you could spend those at these automated shops that would dole out ammo, energy, upgrades to your suit, that kind of thing. So it's possible that it's going to be going that same route. We don't really know. There's also a logs button, a radio button, those kinds of things, so you can radio to people or maybe listen to broadcasts. There is like a tuning knob at the bottom of this piece of equipment here. If we let it go a little bit further, we can see a little tuning knob at the bottom with some other knobs, and also probably a clock, I'm assuming. So it's possible that you're going to get frequencies that you find throughout the world that you can tune into and either hear broadcasts, connect with other people, who knows. When you do initially boot up your power suit, which is towards the end of the trailer, you boot up the initial power suit, it does mention that it's connecting to a satellite. So this device, which seems like kind of this game's Pip-Boy, maybe you're tuning into the satellite to maybe make contact with some other ship, or the planet that you're supposed to be going to, or maybe the United Federation of Planets, or whatever it is in this world. Another very interesting thing is that when you boot up that suit, and on this screen here with the Pip-Boy kind of zoomed in or whatever, I'm going to be calling it the Pip-Boy because I don't have another name for it yet. You can see a headphone and a microphone jack. And when you boot into the actual suit, the screen comes up with a whole bunch of numbers and jibbity jubes and all the different mechanical stuff. And one of the things it says is mic connected. So I'm wondering if this is going to take after Alien Isolation, in that you could, if you want, hook up your real world mic, and any noise you make would alert the enemy to your presence. I would be up for that. Having to whisper or be quiet, especially in streaming, because most of the time I'm streaming these horror games on my Fright Day streams. It would be fun to have something where don't scream, because then they're going to notice you. And my community likes to push the channel rewards on Twitch to get me scared. So that kind of thing would be a fun kind of extra bit of entertainment. Now, the trailer itself goes through a lot of hallways. So, confirmed there are hallways in this game. Lots and lots of hallways. Not a whole lot happened. So, what I'm assuming is that this trailer is in early development. So, there's not a whole lot that they've built. They're just showing you, look at what we were able to build here for the game. This is how your character looks. It's a third-person game. You are very close to your character, which is very much survival horror. And you don't have a whole lot of room because you're in these tight corridors. So that's a little bit claustrophobic, which I like. Didn't show a whole lot of enemies. There are a couple in the game in this trailer that they showed, but very little. There are some other kind of early release footage of some enemies, but those are also in the dark. Which, being in the dark and being horror is all good things, but not a whole lot to see yet. But we can tell that, just behind me, you can see there's bloody goop and guts, people's bodies splitting apart and stuff like that. So there's going to be definitely some gore. But what I thought was cool was when he goes into this main character here, passes through a bulkhead and into like a decontamination zone. You can see the water droplets gathering on his suit from whatever solution is being sprayed on him to get him clean and disinfected before he goes into the next section. And the detail on that water droplets, and then also the detail on the volumetric fog that is happening a little bit later on in the trailer. Like, not much is happening other than just your character looking around and up at the lights. But because you can see that the lights have fog that they're shining through, you can tell that the technology they're using is going to be a little bit more involved. There's going to be a little bit more next gen, hopefully. Something taking advantage of possibly the PS5, Xbox Series X, or the higher end graphics cards on PC. Now, like I was saying, the Pip-Boy kind of device that they show at the very beginning of the trailer is part of this like exosuit that you get to wear. I'm not sure how much of the game you get to wear that, if it's the whole thing, or if it's only for when you need it for oxygen-starved environments. I'm assuming because there's so much info on that screen that this is something that you're probably going to wear early on. But you can see here behind me over there. This is not an exosuit. This right here, this is not an exosuit. This is just a regular old suit covered in blood. So, who knows? Maybe that's just concept footage there and stuff is starting to change. I'm not sure. I did like the end of the trailer where he's in the suit running. Oxygen has a timer that's ticking down, and then all of a sudden the suit gets corrupted. And because the suit is corrupted, the oxygen readout is starting to flash from what is reality to some other number, and you don't really know how much oxygen you have now. You're like, oh crap, I really need to hurry up because my suit's being infected by something. What that is, we don't know. Maybe it's a hacker. Maybe it's the plague that can also affect electronics. Who knows? But there's definitely that, oh shit, kind of tension that is building in this trailer, which is exactly what you want from a survival horror game, especially in space. Space, I think, needs to take into account an oxygen and a survival as far as your breath. Because, I mean, that's the most simple form of scare tactic for a space game, is that I am running out of breath and I'm going to suffocate. So, interesting stuff coming out of this. The other part that was released today was the devlog. This is some of the devs. I don't know if that's the whole team. If so, that's a very small team, and they're doing a great job for just such a small group. But the team that you got to see in this devlog kind of just describe their jobs and what they're trying to do for the game. There wasn't a whole lot of like, I was expecting it to be more of here's where we are with the game and this is how far we're going and where we're hoping to do this or anything like that. It's not really that. It's more just introducing you to all the different team members, kind of a hello, this is us. Thanks for checking us out. And we're excited to be bringing you this game. And this is what we do, which I find fascinating. That kind of stuff, being a game and game industry junkie, I'll eat it all up. I love seeing more information. I like watching documentaries, things like that. So if you guys are watching this on the dev team, please make more of those videos. I love seeing that kind of behind the scenes stuff. And also, you know, sometimes I want to see some of the things that you don't really see in these trailers. Like in one of the scenes, you can see that in the background is a TV, and being shown on it is some footage that's not in the trailer. And you can see kind of a grid pattern on the reticle for whatever light or gun that the character is using in that. So that's also kind of like a little behind the scenes hint if you really closely look. Another scene you can see in the background, some different types of controllers, PlayStation controller, Xbox controller, and a Switch. So it's possible maybe that they're developing this game with the mindset that they might release it on Switch. That has not been announced, but you know, it's a Unreal game. Unreal games are known to be compatible with Switch, so possible that they could dial it down a little bit and still have that release and be playable on a Switch, which, you know, we need more horror games on the Switch, that's for damn sure. And what's better than playing on the go and being scared the shit up in the backseat of the car with someone who's driving up front? Anyway, let me know what you think of Negative Atmosphere. What do you see so far that's intriguing you? This game doesn't have a whole lot of information yet, and I'm assuming that we're still at least a year or two out before release. But, you know, looks like a pretty decent little indie game, and hopefully it scares the crap out of me whenever I do get to play it. I'd like to hear your information and what you think down in the comments below. And, you know, throw a like on this video. That helps me out quite a bit. And, you know, thanks for coming and hanging out. I'll see you in the next video.